Hey everyone, welcome. I hope you're well, and thanks for being here to practice with us. So the inspiration for the talk tonight and the practice is inspired by a little bit in John Kabat-Zinn's book, Wherever You Go, There You Are. And we were just chatting in the Zoom room here that it's on his website, it now says the 30th anniversary of that book, which I was like surprised. My version is the 10th year anniversary, so it'll be interesting to see what he's added or changed since then. Be very interesting. Anyways, it's a very accessible, short little, like sometimes 2 pages or 3-page little entries. And if you don't know John Kabat-Zinn, he's the creator of MBSR, mindfulness-based stress reduction, and published lots of well-known books, etc. And yeah, he's, of course, the roots of his practice and his teachings are the Dharma and the teachings of the Buddha. And he brought them into more of a secular, mindfulness-based, obviously, mindfulness-based stress reduction way of offering the Dharma, but Dharma it is. So I've been kind of climbing my way through this pile of books that were passed on to me, and skimming through, and was inspired by this little piece that he offers. The title of this, it's not even a chapter, it's 2.5 pages. So do we call it a chapter? Maybe. Wow, I'm rambling tonight. The title of this small section is called Meditation, Not to be Confused with Positive Thinking. Good one. So I'm just letting you know the title in case you have the book, you can look for this section. Meditation, Not to be Confused with Positive Thinking. I like this title. There's another teacher, Bhante Gunaratana, that has a whole chapter and he goes through many things that meditation is not. And then he goes into what meditation is. But it's like, it's not trance, it's not hypnosis, it's not this, it's not like what he's saying. It's not just positive thinking. And it's a really great, very helpful to dismantle some of the, what's that word? Some of the confusion, and there's a better word about what meditation is. So in this section, John Kabat-Zinn talks about how he's trying to tease apart here the difference between thinking and awareness, or I for the last few years been calling it awake awareness. That was from Locke Kelly. And so he's talking about the thinking mind, our usual, the one we think. This is it. This is what mind is. This is what I got to work with here, until we develop awareness and realize there's other levels of consciousness, other aspects of consciousness. So he says, the thinking mind is usually fragmented. And then we're going to talk about awake awareness, which is experienced and known as wholeness. And this fragmented mind is, I like this word. It feels accurate to me. Um, I've been just watching myself tonight as I'm talking and introducing, and I can hear and see this kind of popping here and there. It feels a little fragmented for me tonight, but it's the kind of mind that's ping-ponging around and worrying about this and planning that and thinking about this and imagining this, fantasy, the mind all day long in little bits and pieces here and there. Um, So this is one aspect of kind of what we'll call everyday mind or mind. It is also has the characteristics of being narrow in that it's not got a holistic view. It's like what I want, what I don't want, who I want to be, where I want to, what I want to get. It's focused, narrow little sound bites of thinking. Another quality is that it is inaccurate. I've said here before, some of you have heard, um, when I started sitting long retreats, and there's more relative calm and stability and slowing down and less distraction and yeah, more one-pointedness. And then there's an ability to just watch the nature of mind and see mind doing its mind things from the perspective of awake awareness, which we're going to do tonight. And I remember clearly the knowing, the insight of almost everything that I was thinking was not true. It's quite shocking, like not true. It's really helpful to see this, but also rather shocking. So when the mind is thinking about something that has happened, a past event, it is inaccurate. It's not true. It's filtered, it's this perspective, it's selective, it's distorted, all those things. We even know in a present moment of people viewing the same live event that's happening, that even if you interview those people like right then, they all have a different perspective, a different view, a different experience of it, different retelling. So even when it's just like a few moments after an event, it's already inaccurate. Um, and then most of the time, this habit mind has the groove, the habit of future planning. Even if it's just like a few minutes from now, I would still call that future planning mind, or yeah, where it's rehearsing mind, thinking of what I'm going to say, what I'm going to do. Not just the to-do list, but like whatever's coming up, and then I think, how am I going to respond to that? And then kind of letting that play out in a little storyline. Obviously, that's inaccurate, hasn't happened. I'm just making it up how I want it to go, inaccurate. And then in the present moment, how often is what I'm seeing and thinking and an embellished personal view of what I'm thinking about. It's it's not usually known as a universal truth unless I'm practicing mindfulness, where just the bare fact, the bare knowing of, in this moment, I would say coolness on fingertips, hands moving, light on branches, voice arising and passing, eyes blinking, like bare naming of direct moment arisings and passings, I could say that's pretty accurate. I could break it down further, but we won't. And also in the present moment, we're often fantasizing and daydreaming and imagining and just skipping about in the fields of the mind. So this thinking mind is fragmented, narrow, inaccurate. Yeah, there's more. It's also 100% self-centered. This is also shocking and mm, what's the other word there? It's a little bit humbling or something to realize all the thinking has me as the central character. It's all how I wish it had gone, how I want it to be, how I want people to see me, how I want to become. Even if I'm thinking about other people, how I want how I want that to be. It's always this point of view. It's always self-centered. I wish we were in a room together so we could just talk about this, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on it, but we're doing this Zoom thing. So for those of us in the room, happy to chat afterwards. And if you're practicing with us on YouTube, happy to read your comments. The last, there's many characteristics of thinking mind, but the last one we'll talk about tonight is that it's habitual. Yes, it's conditioned and habitual. We have, you've noticed, we have grooves. We have our way of seeing things, of reacting to things that are completely different from everyone else. So it's conditioned thinking, but also habitual, like a scratch in a record. The needle's going to catch that groove over and over and over again. Some of our sankharas, these grooves, these habits of mind are pretty light, and others are really deep grooves, really deep habits that we get snagged in over and over and over again. Yes. It's so helpful to see these things because then you can stop taking yourself so seriously and taking your mind and all of its fabulous thoughts so preciously. It's quite freeing to just be like, oh, dear mind, you're doing a good job. You're working hard to figure it all out and make it all go your way. Carry on. Because mind is going to do mind. You don't, so many people come to meditation and they're like, I want to clear my mind. How do I turn it off? How do I stop my mind? Be careful what you wish for, first of all. You don't want to clear your mind because mind is fine. Just let mind do mind. It's good at creating and imagining and remembering and gathering and all the things. And we just let mind do mind stuff. The more you try to add thoughts, like he said, happy thoughts or positive thinking, same thing, happy, to fix your mind, it's just adding more thought bubbles to the thought bubbles. It's just adding more waves to the turbulent waters of the mind that are already there, pushing it around like, no, be like this. So understanding and just being able to know, oh, mind is really busy. Mind is planning. Mind is sad. Mind is worried. Already, when you name it, that's awake awareness. You're already one little step back that's just going, oh, mind, knowing what the mind habit is doing. It's like, that's already known and seen. Oh, with care and with compassion and with lightness. Like, oh, mind is really afraid in this moment. How is that known? What part named that? To see how that is not self-centered, it's not habitual, it's not narrow, it's not inaccurate, and it's not fragmented. It's whole, caring, creative, compassionate, awake awareness. Um, and awake awareness is not me or mine or yours. It already is. And we all have access to it. We all it's part of our nature, and we just want to start to be able to distinguish when knowing awake awareness is present and when we're just in the maze scurrying about fixing all the things. So here's like the Buddha so often taught, with similes, fabulous stories and images that help bring the teachings alive and awake and accessible for different types of learners. Thank you, Buddha. Well done. Um, some of these are from John Kabat-Zinn's book, and others are from, one of these is from Pascal, who we were talking about earlier. I think he heard it from Anushka, but I can't remember. And others are ones that I don't know where come from. They just are. So see what, if one of these is helpful for you to be able to understand the nature of thinking mind. So that the piece about thinking mind being fragmented, you know, all the little pieces, it's this and that, and all these little fragmented pieces. And awareness is like a bowl that cradles all the fragments. So nice. Isn't that so nice? It's just, oh, feeling so fragmented. I got you. That bowl that holds all the fragments, cradles them. It's not trying to dump them out, empty the bowl, be the thing. Just, oh, holding the fragments. Love it. Um, so meditation is not about trying to change your thinking by thinking more or thinking better, thinking nicer. It's just recognizing thinking, oh, this form of thinking is up right now, and cultivating awake awareness. And by simply watching, by knowing, naming is often helpful for people without being drawn in to the storyline, without biting the hook of whatever drama is unfolding. This gives that little bit of space of uh, and the more we cultivate just naming what's up with mind, eventually when there's some stability with that, we can start to turn towards awareness itself, turn towards what are the qualities of this awake awareness, and just abiding, hanging out in that level, that aspect of consciousness um, for longer periods of time. There's something else that just floated through. One sec. No, it's gone. Okay, here's another image. This one, I really like this. I've used this a few times. John Kabat-Zinn offers this in his chapter, I think, of the waterfall of the mind. It could this continual cascade of thoughts, torrent, especially after the spring thaw. The mind is just like, some days are calmer and some days are like this crazy waterfall of thought cascade. It doesn't stop. It's the nature of the mind until it stops, which is called death. Um, so this continual waterfall of thoughts, and then you could picture behind the waterfall this little cave. You could picture how sometimes there's a cave behind a waterfall, and just sitting in that cave. I like this one because you're still so close. You can just see, you can feel the spray, you can hear the waterfall, you can be very close to the torrent of the thinking without being in it and swept downstream. Yeah, just in that cave watching, wow, sweet mind, working so hard. It's very compassionate to just be like, oh, goodness, you almost had it all figured out. Carry on. I just don't take it seriously anymore. Sorry. Oh, okay. Here's another. I'm not sorry, actually. I'm sorry for being flippant about it, if that feels offensive, is what I meant to say. One that I often refer to that I can also find helpful is seeing the thinking mind like a mouse in a maze. You picture that maze and the mouse is running around. Where's the cheese? Where's the way out? Oh, I can't find the door. I'm running around. I got to do this today. Don't forget that. And did you get the thing? And when do we eat? All day long, running around, running around. That's what it's like in here. I don't know about you, but this is a mouse in a maze. Just all day. Da, 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 da. I should get that and don't do that. And then awake awareness is just that observer. It's just watching, right? Watching the mouse doing all the things. So that one might be helpful to you. Uh, this is the one that I heard from Pascal. He shared the Pascal Auclair we're talking about here. He shared this in a Dharma talk about the self many moons ago. So apologize for misquoting Pascal. You might have, yeah. Anyways, the image is very helpful. It's like being in a movie theater, right? And we're in the film. Sometimes it's a war movie, sometimes it's a romance, sometimes it's a reality TV show. Sometimes it's, whatever, cartoon. We're just in these different movies all day long, all the different stories, and we don't have any perspective. We're just in the story of whatever's coming and going. And if you look back on a day or a longer period of time, but even in one day, how many different kinds of movies were going on? Like, you know, there was the shopping channel, there was the the eating network, there was the shopping network, like all the different things that happened just in one day. Okay, and so this is Thinking Mind, this movie constantly rolling through with its dramas, lots of drama. And then just picture yourself sitting 4 or 5 rows back in the theater. Oh, it's such a, oh, do you feel that? It's like a sigh. It's like, oh, I can just watch the movie. I don't have to be in that movie. I can choose to just, oh, see, this is coming up. I see this part of my character is showing up right now. Just sitting a few rows back. Love that image. Uh, Speaking of movies, another aspect of Thinking Mind that is so amusing to me uh, is that the mind is constantly, unless it's just in mindfulness, constantly narrating everything that's happening. There's a voiceover narration of everything that's happening. It's so wonderful to have a mind that can do these things. There's a constant commentary running about everything. Yeah. Last image. Sometimes you'll hear folks refer to big sky mind. So we could see the, the this vast, boundless, clear sky or atmosphere representing awake awareness, that boundless, clear, whole perspective on through which the storms pass by, the clouds, the birds, reflecting the different aspects of the horizon. It's just big sky mind and just watching the storms pass by. And this is known through with the field or the big clear conscious knowing. Right. That's probably enough. We could go on. I mean, you could go on, but we won't. That's enough. Um, so integration and wisdom. Wow, look how I faded out there. My video does this sometimes. That's so interesting. I'm still here. I'm just going to turn my camera on and off and that'll clear it. I'm still here. One sec. Come back. Look, clarity arises. So integration and wisdom and calm do not arise by adding more thoughts to the torrent, to fix our thoughts and think nice thoughts. And that's just adding more to the torrent. But it arises by understanding the nature of thoughts. And most importantly, understanding, seeing, and knowing our relationship to the thoughts. Do we believe the thoughts? Do we get all up in them? We follow them. We add fuel to them. We get into the movie screen and yeah, let's do that. Um, so clarity, wisdom, wholeness arise by understanding the nature of thoughts and, most importantly, our relationship to those thoughts. Mm-hmm. Let's practice. So adjust your space and your posture. Hmm. 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 So as we're settling into our posture for this practice period, a little caveat, I will maybe mention a few of these images in the meditation. I don't know yet what's coming, but it's important to not just trip out, not just like get yourself into a whole visualizing thing, because that's just an attachment to desire of visualizing and just having a nice little trip in the mind. So I mentioned all these images to use them lightly, just as another way into the felt experience and a little bit of space. Okay, just want to mention that. All right. Taking time to land, to settle. I have this large hourglass that I keep in my meditation space, and it's an image that I often use in the beginning of meditation to just feel this sense of settling, slowing down, and how an hourglass and gravity has a direction towards the ground, grain by grain, breath by breath, moment by moment. And you don't have to do anything except for that slight intention to begin. And then it just happens with that slight intention to begin and settle. We begin by letting the muscles settle down, widen, soften, relax. Muscles of the face, and shoulders, hands, belly, legs, as the muscles begin to relax, we can feel a direct present moment knowing of our weightedness. the weight of the bones, the heaviness. Feel how the habit tension of and momentum of our day creates these contractions that lift of, lift us away from that felt sensation, direct knowing of presence, embodied groundedness. So as we continue relaxing and settling, arriving, landing, grain by grain, breath by breath, we greet ourselves in the center of this awake, aware moment. I often find it helpful to check in with my intention for practice. Why are you here? Why are you practicing? For wisdom, clarity, compassion, calm. So as you feel the brightness, the energy of your intention, also feel the strength of your sila, your ethics, your morality, the uprightness. For me, I often feel this in the area of my spine or the back body, this sense of strong back, of our sila, these trainings that we undertake to refrain from harming and taking life, to refrain from speaking falsely and harshly, to refrain from taking more than is freely offered to us, to refrain from causing harm with our sensuality and sexuality, and to refrain from heedlessness caused by intoxication. Feel these qualities or your own values that resonate for you as your uprightness, your strength. And that core allows us to meet the world with a soft front, soft hands, face, heart, belly. And to practice with this mindfulness, this capacity to know the nature of thinking mind, it's helpful to cultivate an anchor so that we can watch the nature of mind arising and passing on that canvas of the anchor. So choose an anchor for your practice tonight. It might be sensation of your breath arising and passing, or sensation of your hands where they're resting. Let's spend the next few minutes just cultivating that anchor. Here we direct and apply our thinking to that anchor, to really pay attention to it. What is that sensation like in the present moment? Notice as much of it as you can. You'll have noticed the mind moves off of that anchor, and we just gently begin again. 100 times, it moves away. 100 times, begin again. As you begin and continue to directly experience some degree of calming, some stability with your anchor, then you could begin to include curiosity about mind, thinking mind. So that when attention has been away on imagining or remembering or planning or worrying, etc., or daydreaming or sleeping, when awareness notices, and before you come back to your anchor, just in that little window, just take a moment to slightly notice where the mind was, which storyline was happening, and then begin again with your anchor. Just that little space that could name. Oh, mind is planning, remembering, wishing, sleeping, whatever version is flowing through in that little space of naming it. That's happening from the space of awareness that can just watch mind doing mind. And then begin again. As we directly experience and watch the nature of thinking mind, this is done with compassion, like, oh, dear mind, I see, it's okay. It, the nature of awake awareness is clear, integrated, compassionate, calm, creative. Just watching and knowing what thinking mind is like, with a little bit of space. In these last 2 minutes of the practice, just rest and let the story even just flow by or bubble by without even any effort to know what mind is thinking. Simply rest back with your anchor. Just simply rest. You for your practice, and if you're practicing with us on the YouTube channel, please check the links below for John Kabat-Zinn's website and our True North Insight Earth Day events. Put the link there. There's many upcoming in-person and online offerings from a variety of teachers for this Earth Day, which I think is the 55th anniversary of Earth Day, which, it's like any day. It's an arbitrary naming of a day. All the days are Earth Day, but it's still good to have intention and focused awareness on these really important cultivation of care and respect for this sweet marble in the sky. So check out those Earth Day events and hope to practice with you again.